right. Welcome back. If you're a veteran and you're struggling or feel like you are leading a path towards the darkness, stop and think about those who are around you. Think about how they truly value you, how they will miss you. You are not alone. You need to talk to someone. Someone will listen to you. If you feel like you'll be a burden to someone, or you don't feel like you should put that weight on your inner circle, call the hotline at 988 and take option 1. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, thanks for joining us. Please subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at _MisFitNation. It's _MisFitNation. This will keep you up to date with our latest news, episodes, and of course, our great guests. All right, our next guest has played country music since he was 9 years old. He learned the value of hard work early on from his parents and built a promising career in the oil fields of West Texas. He spent 19 years in this field before trading in his hard hat for the pursuit of his dream of playing Texas country music. So without further ado, let's welcome Scott Hayley to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Scott. How you doing?
I'm great. How you doing, Rich? Thanks for having me.
All right. No problem. Once I got this invite from you to come on the show, I got to have this guy on here. Has an interesting journey he's been on. And, of course, he plays music, so music always makes people happy. And, of course, the things you have been doing you roughed up your life being a roughneck for a long time there. And then you got back to playing that guitar and getting out there and singing. So tell us a little more about your life besides what I just blurbed on there.
You know, I come from a little town called Rising Star, Texas. I was born to very young parents. Mother was 14, dad was 15. And, I appreciate, what you said, right there at the beginning of the show. Just to let you know, I lost my father, who was a veteran, to suicide in 1991. Thank you for what you guys do. And that's a cause that I stand firmly for, is combating veteran suicide. But I grew up, great parents. Dad done a great job raising me. He's a Baptist deacon, farm and ranching community. Ended up going to the oil fields when I was 19 years old and built a wonderful career. Ended up in directional drilling. And, at nearly 40 years old, I decided, enough of that, let's go play music. That is a terrible age to start playing music.
I'm sure it is. And the competition is a lot tougher when you're not a short, young, tight jeans wearing guy or gal and being on the stage.
Yeah, man, I'm just too fat to fit in those skinny jeans, so it just ain't gonna work out,
I'm with you on that one. It's hard to even get one leg in them.
I ain't get a cankle in them.
Cankle, outstanding. Now I was reading on your influences. It said Billy Ray Cyrus and Sammy Hagar. That's a big cross right there. Them two. Billy Ray, of course, he's kind of a country rocker, and then Sammy Hagar, of course, Van Halen fame and Cabo Wabo Tequila. He's a hardcore rocker. So I guess that was some of the stuff your parents were listening to as you were growing up.
Well, we were really, when I was very young, and a little Walkman cassette player, around 1988, 1989. And, but, I didn't have any tapes. So my aunt, she had given me a Sammy Hagar tape, and I didn't know anything about music, but I know when I put it in, it felt good on my ears, and so I listened to that. Well, then, around 1992, 1993 was when the achy breaky craze started up, and Billy Ray Cyrus. And I tell you what, it was a completely different time. I'd stay right there by the radio, right there in the speaker, waiting for Billy Ray Cyrus to come on the radio, with achy breaky heart. And, wore it out. Well, my first concert, I was 9 years old. I said, we were pretty poor. And, my parents, I was 9 years old, and we went to Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington. And they got me a ticket on the 6th row at Billy Ray Cyrus. and my parents and my younger brother and sister sat in the very back. But that was my first experience of ever being to a music concert was Billy Ray Cyrus at 9 years old, Six Flags Over Texas.
That's amazing, and it's a great memory to have that your parents were able to work their tails off to take you and your siblings and also get you into Billy Ray, and sort of so you can sing along to Achy Breaky Heart while he was singing it.
Yeah, it's something, you know, I'll never forget. You know, music. My music taste has definitely evolved since then. You know, we went into the grunge era, and then, you know, Metallica, and, you know, then the 90s country. You know, it fit very well with that music. So that's kind of all the inspiration in a nutshell.
And 90s country kind of is it's night and day to what we have now. It evolved very differently than it was back then.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of my best friends, mentors, is a guy you probably heard of him. He was a 90s star, a guy by the name of Doug Supernall. Yeah. So Doug had actually, you know, encouraged me and, you know, almost nearly talked me into chasing my own music dream. And you know, what Doug always said was, you know, there ain't nothing wrong with country music today. They just played it on the wrong radio station.
Exactly. Same thing now too. I mean, most of it, what you hear now is kind of blended in with the pop market. So you get more listeners, I'm guessing, and more money that way. So you do what you got to do to make yourself the bigger star. And you just got to love what you do every day. And I'm sure you love what you do every day. Tell the audience a little bit about where you just came from and how that experience opened your eyes to the world.
Man, I've been everywhere. But, you know, the last 8 months, I have seen more of Europe than the United States. I've been drilling wells, playing music. You know, what brought this all about is I had back in December, I'd caught COVID, and I had a flare, or a bad combination with an arthritic gout flare up. And it made me really sick, and it actually spread up into my hips. I'd spent some time in the hospital, but I lost my ability to sing. So, well, with no singing, I'm going to go drill wells. And so, with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, you know, there's a strong chokehold on the rest of Europe right now as far as getting natural gas. You know, and with winter coming on, you know, they're kind of freaking out. But there was an opportunity to go drill wells in northern Romania. Directional wells. And so that was what brought me to Europe. And we went over there. We drilled a very successful directional well. And, you know, I had some promoters reach out to me about actually playing shows there. And so I got in the shower and checked to see if my voice was back. And, you know, it sounded good in the shower, so it's got to sound good on stage. So said, yeah, we'll do it. Well, I'm going to tell you, I went on the hardest, you know, I think it probably amounts to about 4 or 5 months of actual touring, but the hardest, grueling tour I've ever went on. But it was so much fun. And you know, it changed my outlook on the world. You know, I've seen some people that had major problems that, you know, we think we have problems in America, but, you know, when you see Ukrainians pouring off a bus station or a train station in Warsaw with their most treasured, all the most treasured valuables that they could grab in whatever suitcases they could carry, that's when you start seeing problems.
Kind of opens your eyes to things right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we played several benefits, you know, for the refugees and, you know, and I saw a lot of goodness in people, you know, I'll tell you the Polish people, they don't get enough credit. You know, these Ukrainians, for one, every hotel, whether it be 2-star or 5-star, every one of them, Ukrainian refugees, you're welcome here. You know, these Ukrainians, the fighting age Ukrainians are bringing their children over, handing them to these Polish people. None of them know each other. The Polish are taking their kids with welcoming arms, saying, yes, we'll take them in our home. And then the parents are going back to Ukraine and fighting. And, you know, I mean, that takes a lot of good, you know, and it's really heartwarming to see stuff like that, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I saw some bad, but, you know, I saw a lot of good. And it's something that I'll never forget.
It definitely takes a lot of good on the part of the Polish people to just take those children, and a lot of trust on the part of the Ukrainians for, hey, take my kid. I'm going back to fight for my country. I'll be back hopefully at some point.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, then there's a chance, I mean, they may not come back,
right?
And they know that. They know that all too well. That's the horrors of war.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you brought up a good point there. Seeing the other side of things from by being there overseas, and a lot of Americans don't get that opportunity to go outside of the box they live in and see how others actually face adversity or the things they're going through, and then have to come back and say, my life isn't as bad as I think it is.
Right. Yeah. It's I thought I had problems before I left, it's not that bad.
It pales in comparison, and it's hard to say you can compare things. It's apples to oranges. For like most of the guys and gals I served with going to Afghanistan, Iraq, that was some of their first times leaving the country too. And you go there and you're in war as soon as you get there, and you see little kids starving on the streets, and you see the dirt and you see the pain, and you're there to do good, but you're also there to survive and come home. So it's a double-edged sword for the soldier. And for you, at least, you were able to bring some joy while you were there. Tell us about some of the audiences you had over there while you were on your tour of Poland and Romania.
One place, and first off, thank you for your service. And I'm sure you saw some crazy stuff there in Afghanistan. But, one of the things that sticks out, one of the shows, I was really tired. I played several shows and man, this was in June in Poland. Poland's supposed to be cold. It's cold right now. In June, it is not cold. It's like Texas in June. And they don't believe in air conditioner in most places there. So we're getting these hotels, that don't have air conditioners, and they're, just open a window. All right. Texas don't work that way, we love our air conditioners. So I'm struggling to get sleep, and I'm getting cranky, and we get to this place in Grudziądz, Poland, and I hope I said that right. But it's a Western theme park. Huh. And it looks like like Tombstone, Arizona. They built this full-blown Western theme park called Dodge City. And I can't remember the exact name of the theme park. Mega Park in Grudziądz, yeah. But they call it Dodge City. And they got the saloons. They've got, it looks just like something out of, like Tombstone, Arizona. And, I'm playing a show there, but they got me there about 3 days early just to go up there and meet people. A lot of these people had never seen a Texan. They're crazy about Texans and cowboys. Well, I wear a cowboy hat, sometimes when performing, but when it's hot, I hate a cowboy hat. I do not want to. Not all Texans wear cowboy hats. Not all country music singers wear cowboy hats. Well, they were absolutely adamant that I wear the full gear, the cowboy hat, let people take pictures and all that. And I was a little annoyed, and there was a bunch of kids that come in, and I'm wearing my $800 Best American Hat Company hat, that I'm really proud of, and there's all these kids, and they're coming up, and because they're bringing all these kids on field trips, and all these kids are coming up. They're like, "Hey, yeah, maybe," and they're reaching for my hat, and they were all Ukrainian kids. Nearly every one of them were Ukrainian kids, and they've got one or two teachers, or I don't know if they were. I couldn't understand the language, so I don't know if they were teachers, if they were chaperones. I don't know, but there may have been 20 in some group, 50 or 60 in another group. Well, they all converged and wanted my hat. Oh, wow. And so seeing all these kids, I pulled my hat off and let them all take pictures in my hat. And but seeing the look on these kids' face, they'd never seen a cowboy hat. They'd only seen it in movies. And just seeing how happy they were. I didn't do much for them. I didn't do much of anything for them, but seeing them smile and forget about what they were going through for just a little bit, seeing them forget that mom and dad were gone and they didn't know if they were coming back. That really did my heart a lot of good. And, and that's something I'll never forget. It was just being able to create smiles, you know, in some of those shows we did. You know, people, music. I'm a firm believer that music is God's language to the heart, and that only validated that point, because none of them people, as bad as I couldn't understand them, they really couldn't understand me. Even if they know English, they didn't understand Texan. But yeah, so I mean, they didn't understand the words. They just knew that it was music. They liked it, and it made them happy. And so it's something that you know, I was really proud to do.
That's outstanding, and like you said, it helps them. It gives them that escape from their actual reality that they're going through right now. And music does bring happiness and joy to many people, no matter what genre of music you listen to. Like you said before, when you put the headphones on, you listen to Sammy Hagar, you just liked how it felt on your ears, and you stayed with it. They do the same thing. Now they're probably running around. They made T-shirts probably for you. They probably drew it on their little white T-shirts. Now they have the Scott Hayley shirts that they walk around with, and maybe that picture of them with their hat on their desk or whatever now.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a funny thing. I got my hat back, and it looked like a sombrero when they got done with it. But you know, it was cool because I took it back to America's Best Hat Company in Fort Worth, and they shaped it back up and fixed it all for me. Didn't even charge me anything. Great company. But yeah, I mean, it was it was all fun. You know, it's funny. You know, I played one bar up north of Warsaw, and it was mostly Ukrainians there, and the guy that owned the bar was he's a Polish veteran, and you know, he's chomping at the bit. He wants to go to Ukraine, you know, and great guy. But yeah, he'd never had a concert at that bar, so he went and had plates made that had our picture on it, and I got a little coffee mug. I should have brought it here with me, but yeah, I've got a coffee mug that's got our picture on it. And,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was definitely an experience, you know. But yeah, I could go on and on about it, but I don't know if you got enough time on the show.
Always got time for good stories. Good news stories are always good to have on here. I'm sure a lot of the venues there weren't as big as some of the bars in Texas.
No, you know, it's funny. I played, you know, one show I played, you know, there was, you know, I couldn't tell you exactly. There was thousands of people, you know, it was a big festival. And, you know, the funny thing is I didn't realize that they were televising it on the news, and everybody in Poland loves my song Facebook Jail. And it's a song that me and Paul Cook had wrote about, you know, the following the election. It wasn't meant to be a political song. It was more just a kind of lighthearted thing of laughing at the fact that all these people are getting thrown in Facebook jail. But it did kind of take a little shot at cancel culture. Well, in Poland, they love that song. It's very catchy. But I didn't know that they had it televised on the Polish national news. And I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting I don't want to get no FAA trouble here. The words of the song. But it was, those fact checkers can kiss my beep for sending us to Facebook jail.
Right.
That's the hook of the song. So my first time ever on Polish national news in front of, you know,
it's the first thing they hear.
I told the whole world to kiss my beep, you know. but yeah, but you know, but some bars, you know, I'd get there and there would be 20 people, 30 people. You know, a lot of them were backyard parties. You know, and I mean, but these people, they were so generous. They insisted, you know, I can drink beer all day long. I can drink beer and be just fine. You give me one shot of vodka, I'm a terrible person. and they love, you know, they come over, they got this homemade vodka, and they're just like, here, Scott, drink vodka. I'm like, no. You don't want to give Scott vodka. You know, bring beer. You know, but yes, you know, it was, I mean, it just, I mean, everybody there is family. But, you know, in a, you know, music, you can throw a rock in Texas, Nashville, you know, same way Nashville, you can throw a rock in any direction, you're going to hit a music venue. There, you're going to show up, you're not going to know if they have sound. You may be just playing an acoustic guitar and trying to be loud enough, you know, to where you can get over the commotion in the bar. So yeah, I mean, it varied from place to place. You know, it was definitely a different experience, but by far, if it didn't make me a better musician, it probably made me a more patient person.
Probably it built your person, your humanity aspect was built while you were over there. Yes.
Yeah.
So Scott, let's take a quick break here. We'll listen to a little truth about Texas.
Perfect.
Let me tell you the truth about Texas. Granddad used to say, I'd sit on his knee with his arm around me. He'd point out across the stage. There's history out there nobody can change. Boy, it belongs to you. Let me tell you the truth about Texas, son. She bleeds red, white, and blue. If you want to know the truth about Texas, it's everything you love. It's red in the dirt, white in the clouds, and the blue in the sky above. It's rivers that flow in the Alamo, pickups and Patron. If you want to know the truth about Texas, son, it's in your bones. You were born and bred pure Texan, he said. You don't know, but she's your first love. Barroom brawls and Friday night lights, it all runs through your blood. When the neighbors help rebuild your house after a springtime flood. If you want to know the truth about Texas, son, it's here, they never give up. If you want to know the truth about Texas, it's everything you love. It's red in the dirt, white in the clouds, and the blue in the sky above. It's rivers that flow in the Alamo, pickups and Patron. If you want to know the truth about Texas, son, it's in your bones. It's in a handshake, it's in a kiss, something that you say. The desert sands far from home, within the adobe clay. About working to live and living to work, flagging the farm in God's green earth. Want to know the truth about Texas, it's everything you love. It's red in the dirt, white in the clouds, and the blue in the sky above. It's rivers that flow in the Alamo, pickups and Patron. If you want to know the truth about Texas, son, feel it in your bones. Want to know the truth about Texas? Texas, son, it's what we call home.
The Truth About Texas by Scott Hayley. Great song. I like to hook on it. And tell you the truth, in my 22 years in the Army, I went to Texas twice, San Antonio and El Paso. And then after the Army, from 2016 through now, I've been there probably 10 times. So I think my post-Army career time has been more times in Texas than ever.
Well, we love having you here.
Thank you. Have had a good time every time I've been there, so I can't complain.
Yeah, it was great to be back. I mean, in Tennessee, I've been in Tennessee a few times, and both of them are very similar. People wise, culture wise. So yeah, I mean, it's a good trade off either way.
Right, and both have whiskey, both have beer, so it works out well for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you still stay away from the vodka here too, or the vodka. So.
I will stay away from the vodka. Funny story on that. We talked about the other playing for the refugees and whatnot. But one of the other neat stories was there's a bar in Poznan, Poland called the Surfing Cowboy, and this was one of my favorite venues. Poznan has one of the largest U.S. military. It has the largest U.S. military base in Poland. And when I got there, I've been playing and don't get me wrong, I love the other shows, but it was very hard to have a conversation with people that spoke English. And and I was getting a little homesick. I mean, I was ready to talk to somebody without a translator. And, they really pushed this show, the Surfing Cowboy, and they were excited about it. And when I got there, it was full of U.S. Military servicemen. and women. And, you know, it was, I felt like I was at home. They were so happy to see me, but they have no clue how happy I was to see them. You know, in, you know, Texas, we love our, you know, I love my snuff. I've dipped snuff since I was 12 years old. It's an awful habit, but I'd run out, and it's illegal in Europe. It's illegal to sell in Europe. Those servicemen brought me about 4 rolls of snuff. And, you know, I mean, I was ready to cry when I seen them. And, you know, some of the younger ones, you know, Lane, I'll just say Lane and crew, you know, I mean, we made lifelong friends. You know, they were missing their families back home. And, you know, for a moment, we all got to relieve each other's homesickness. And that was a great experience.
And that's outstanding. And I can guarantee you there was a lot of snuff in those soldiers' bedrolls. They carry that like it's going out of style when they go overseas. I had a good friend, John Martin. He'd chew Red Man, not snuff. The big old leaves of Red Man, and he'd had to have that with him everywhere we went on patrol. He'd give it out to little kids like it was candy, and watch their reaction when that was my first introduction to kids getting sick off that stuff. So it's a fun game, and I know every soldier is appreciative of having you over there.
Oh, it was a mutual appreciation. I think I was more happy to see them than they were me. I mean, but yeah, it was it was such a fun night. You know, I mean, it was. I'll never, you know, the Polish people line dance. You know, they think that's what we do here. Of course, nobody line dances anymore, but they line dance like crazy over there. I play some of my more rocked up stuff. They'd be out there line dancing. To watch those young soldiers get out there and try to line dance with those Polish women, I couldn't keep my composure on stage. I would just bust out laughing right in the middle of the song. But they were giving it their best. I mean, it was one heck of a party. It was a lot of fun.
It's two cultures crashing into each other thanks to the joy of music, like we talked earlier. It brings cultures together, and they don't have to understand it. They just feel it, feel the beat. They need.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
So, Scott, we talked about your journey. I mean, 19 years in the oil fields, and then now you've been on the other side of the oil field in music and back in oil fields when you went to Eastern Europe to help them with the directional drilling. What tips would you give someone that has a dream of being a musician like you? I mean, you started at 9 years old, wanted to be a country music star, and you put it on hold to start your career and all that because you knew that was the thing to do based on your upbringing. But then you also, in the back of your head, you still want to play. What tips would you give them to stay at their habit and stay at their dream and keep moving forward?
You know, and even these days it's harder. You know, back 30 years ago, you know, if you had a talent, you know, you go into a recording studio and show them what you had, and you know they push it, and you know somebody picks you up. So he says, "Yeah, I want that guy." You know, now it's a sorry, excuse me. It's a different time. It takes money. It takes a lot of money. The one thing that I would recommend against is ever letting somebody come in and sponsor or invest in you. Because nobody's investing. Very rarely they're ever going to get that investment back. It does take a lot of money. If this is something you want to do, if it's something that you truly have a passion for, you need to understand that it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take you're going to catch a ton of heartache. You're going to find friends that get jealous of you as you find success. It's not an easy road, but it's not an unachievable road. You know, I mean, I still have my good days and my bad days. But the most important thing, and I think the best decision that I ever made, was deciding to build my career and have a way to fund my dream. Because I played the game a little bit, just a little tad bit of letting people invest or sponsor. It always come back to bite me. They never had my best interest at heart. You're the talent, you know, whether you're the songwriter or you're just a recording artist that's taking other people's song. You're the talent. It's your music, and you need to have full say. And the only way you're going to have full say over what you do, what you put out there, what you sing, how you act, what you wear, is to invest in yourself. There's no greater investment than what you invest in yourself, and that's the one thing that I can tell anybody. Invest in yourself. Ignore the haters. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your eye on the prize. And don't let anybody tell you can't do something.
Outstanding. That's a great advice, and hope everyone heeds that wants to get into the business. Scott, how does someone get in contact with you and learn more about what you're doing and maybe get to one of your shows someday?
Yeah, so I mean, you can reach out to me on my website. Well, my website, www.scotthayley.com. Divining Point, they're my PR firm. I've also got, you can hit me up on social media. It's Scott Hayley, ScottHayley. I'm there. I'm very responsive. Sometimes I'm a little slow to respond, but I'll always respond. So yeah, if you need anything, reach out to me, and we'll be glad to get an answer for you on whatever you're looking for. I'm just getting back. I haven't started booking any kind of tours yet. I just announced a New Year's show here at my hometown, Rising Star, Texas, on New Year's Eve. But we should start throwing out some show announcements coming shortly after that.
Outstanding. Any new music coming out soon?
Yeah. So actually, while I was in Europe, I'd released a song called "The Life I've Lived," which is a song that Paul Cook and I wrote about my life. And crazy enough, that song went to #7 on the European country charts.
Oh, wow.
And that's just one song from a whole album we're fixing to release. We got some really good music fixing to come out. I've been working with a wonderful, amazing producer, a guy named John Dan McBride. He's been around music a long time, played with Pat Green. He's playing with Aaron Watson right now. And John Dan, he's got a great ear for how country music or red dirt music should be sounding, and what the listener wants to hear. So it's been great working with him. Paul Cook's been we've been tearing it up on writing songs. So I mean, I feel like these songs that we've got coming out, it's way better than what we put out in the past. And not that I say they were bad, but it's just it's kind of a new sound that I'm really looking forward to getting out there.
Awesome. And with any career, as the longer you're in it, the better things sound, or the better things feel to you as you get more into the business. And you might have early fans that say your early stuff was best, and then your later fans will say this is the best. Just like Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, or without him, it's which Van Halen do you like? It's the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Scott, this has been great chatting with you. Thanks for hanging out with the Misfit Nation today, and enjoy your time at home, and enjoy your family, and have a great Christmas.
Thank you. And I hope you have a great Christmas, wonderful New Year, and thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
No problem. Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. It's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes, and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are